let's remember Newsom also ran on it at one
I know,
point.
exactly.
And it's like, look, if it's a Democrat, they when they by the time they get in, though, their head is put on straight, and then suddenly they forget, right? So until the Democrat Party is not run by corporations, until they're not taking cash anymore, there's no way we're going to get it. I mean,
So
like you mentioned.
So in other words, hell has to freeze over.
We have 2/3 majority. We have super majorities of Democrats in this state, and we can't get anything, right? I mean, it's the cost of living is he's gone on record as he's not going to tax billionaires. They're blocking healthcare. I mean, cost of, like I said, no one can afford a house. I did want to mention, bouncing off something Peter mentioned about, like churches not supporting healthcare. Every big giant organization that should be fighting for this, there's very interesting political reasons why they're not. Let's take unions, for example. You would think labor unions would be leading this, and what an amazing boon for labor unions to be seen as leading and winning healthcare for American citizens, but they won't, because they also have bought in to the fact that, well, if everyone gets free healthcare, why would you join a union then? Because the big selling point, they think, for unions is healthcare. And so you have people like Randy Weingarten publicly saying Medicare for all is terrible, right? But what they don't realize, and
we have to comment on Randy Weingarten for a second. We can't bring that up and not have a comment.
Well, let me just finish my point and say that what my union brothers and sisters really need to know is, if we can take, I mean, when you go to negotiate, and we have to negotiate our contracts every freaking year, a huge, I would say half of that time is on healthcare. Imagine what would happen to negotiating if you can take healthcare off your plate. Now we're talking exclusively, and all that money's freed up. Now we can really just fight for, compensation and the services for our kids. That all that time is freed up. And so it's not going to diminish reasons to join the union. It's going to expand reasons to join the union. So I just want to make that clear, because there's still a ton of resistance inside unions because they've drunk the Kool-Aid, right? Yeah. It's like, this will be the best thing for unions to get.
And I can tell you that it really doesn't matter, because what you're pointing out is almost irrelevant to the point. The point is this: the unions, not all of them, most of them, are attached to the Democratic Party. And when the Democratic Party puts out their directive that you will not talk about this or your funding is kaputs, that's how this works. Randy Weingarten is a scumbag of a human, on top of the fact that she plays into that. I had a personal dealing with Randy Weingarten, so I could speak on this on good authority. And she's one of several. Now, you have a couple of union leaders who are out there who I actually respect and admire, like Sean O'Brien and Sean Fain, respectively, of the Teamsters and of the Auto Workers Union. Now, why are those two labor leaders, in my opinion, good? It's because they're technically not attached to either of the two major political parties. A lot of Teamsters voted for Trump. So that's a prime example of
we're not supporting Trump, just so you're aware of that. We're not
supporting me, so you better watch what you say.
We're not with him.
If you do not use your power, if you have leverage and you don't use it, you deserve to lose it. And that's ultimately what ends up happening. It's like the Sunrise Movement. When they locked arms with Biden back in 2020, that was the end of the organization. And now they're nothing. And rightfully so. And I would say the same to everybody else. If you are not willing to lose on principle, then you deserve to lose on everything. And that's the way that everybody should treat this. I participate in capitalism. I'm in commercial real estate. I invest. And single-payer healthcare is the single best policy that this country could use right now, period. And it's been that way forever. And I don't give a shit where you stand politically. If you don't know that the libertarian position is single-payer healthcare based on what is the most cost-effective way, the least amount of waste that could possibly exist within a given system, it's single-payer. So when I say I'm done arguing about this point, I'm done arguing with anybody who doesn't know it because you're too stupid to see the tea leaves in front of you. And
it's like arguing with creationists and flat earthers. It's sort of like we're just past that now, and it's stupid. It's stupid that we're still discussing that.
The only thing that is left to do the only thing that's left to do when it comes to pushing CalCare or single payer nationwide. You just need to show people how it benefits them in their wallet. If you can show them exactly how they save money, legitimately and logistically, that is the easiest way to sell it. Now, it's going to be hard to sell it through some of these organizations because, again, one nation under bribery. However, I do think that there are ways to tangibly show people that, hey, you're spending this amount per year on healthcare. Guess what? Under CalCare, you're going to save whatever the average person is going to save, $2,500 a year. Could you use an extra $2,500? I bet you could. Considering what your rent is, considering what your groceries are, I bet you could use that extra money. And we have the chance here in California to pass this legislation. This is why I'm good at politics, because I cut through the bullshit. I have no fucking time for this, and no one else should either, because you should either know the issue or stay the hell out of it, and it is incredible. Let me tell you guys, considering how much of this we do, how many people are so damn sure of what they think they know, and they don't know shit. And that is incredible. Ignorance is probably the death knell of American culture, more than anything.
And yet seemingly it looks so good. Like, I gotta tell you, like, it really does look very blissful to me. And as someone who has not been able to like sleep in a few years, like really, like,
head in the sand to get some rest.
Kind of. Can we just, before you guys go, I want to just chat with you a little bit about the abolition thing. Is that okay, Peter?
Sure. If I could just mention something Peter just talked about. Yeah. You're exactly right with that savings. If you look at what just happened in New Mexico, right? They got free childcare. And the way they positioned that was they were like, can you use an extra $1,200 a year? And this is free childcare, and it passed resoundingly. I mean, that state is going to be the first one to have, free early childcare. So I agree with you. And we've been putting a lot of pressure on the nurses to give us a dollar amount, of what that savings looks like. So there's many different metrics we're kind of, pressed with. But the one thing we can say is that it's free at the point of service. No more copay, no more co-insurance, no more deductible, none of that. So,
and I think when people say things like, well, this country has that and it's not good and you have to wait for things and there's all this stuff, as if we don't wait for stuff here.
Right.
But the key thing is nobody's claiming that we would have the perfect healthcare system. Nobody claims, like, that's silly. But what we could say is nobody's going to have to file for bankruptcy from healthcare.
How about nobody's going to have to die?
How
about nobody's going to have to die?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate. But when you're talking about, like, no country has it perfect. There's still going to be issues. There's still going to be waiting. There's still going to be problems getting things. Like, that's just how it works. That's
let me say one last thing regarding Steyer, because I do think but here's the thing. If he is committed, if he's truly committed to the cause, then he has to put his money where his mouth is. You have lower tier candidates running for state, for representative, which is delegates in California, or whatever the specific term is.
Senators and assembly members.
Members and senators. If there are people that are running that you know of that are tried and true and they're going to push it, he needs to be backing them. He needs to put his money where his mouth is and be supporting those candidates that are going to help him in Sacramento get this thing across the finish line. He really means it. Let's see him fucking put his money where his mouth is and prove it.
Did you see how Butch Ware wants to implement, though? Butch Ware wants to declare a state of emergency and go around the legislature altogether. That's
how it needs to be done. That's how you do it.
And I love Butch and I want to support him, but we have to be serious about this. This is California, and it's going to take hundreds of millions of dollars to get this done. And if you've got a guy up there who's willing to fight for, he says he's got. Listen, Tom Steyer has the money. There's no question he's got it, and I have no problem if the person's going to do what he says he's going to do. Now he's got to prove it. If he is not willing to do that, considering how much money the DCCC and the DNC is clearly getting from his campaign, because Katie Porter is pretty much dead in the water, and that rhymed on purpose. I want to be very clear that at the end of the day, if he thinks he's going to be serious about becoming the governor and not pulling a Newsom and doing the same shit that's been going on for decades, put your money where your mouth is. Back the candidates that you know will absolutely fight for single payer through the committees and make sure that it gets to your desk for you to sign. That's it.